You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. The Philippines welcomes the International Bargaining Forum's move to classify the Red Sea's southern section as high-risk areas. The Migrant Workers Department says the designation, which took effect December 22, will provide protection for Filipino seafarers, especially after a series of militant attacks. In late November, Yemen's Houthi rebels hijacked a cargo ship in the Red Sea. Among the hostages, 17 Filipinos who are now safe. A tanker with 2 Filipinos on board was also hijacked last month. 15 more Filipinos were endangered after the rebel group launched a drone attack on another container ship this month. Let's go straight to our source today, Migrant Workers Undersecretary Hans Cacdac. Sir Hans, so good to see you again. Merry Christmas. Advance Happy New Year to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas, advance Happy New Year, Ms. Pinky, to your televiewers. Good to see you, Bob.
Sir, let's start with that. What exactly does it mean when that southern section of the Red Sea has been designated as high risk? Number one, what does it mean, and how does that actually affect the seafarers?
Yes, the International Bargaining Forum, this is a venue where international seafarers groups such as the ITF and international employers groups such as the INEC, International Maritime Employers Council, meet to discuss and agree on measures to protect seafarers. So among others, they designate high-risk areas all over the world that could potentially affect the well-being, the navigation of ships carrying seafarers, particularly Filipino seafarers. So when the Galaxy Leader attack happened on November 19th and the succeeding attack on the Central Park, which affected Filipino seafarers, happened, we already registered our call to the social partners, seafarers, and employers groups to expand the high-risk zone with respect to the Red Sea. Because we only have that high-risk zone off the coast of Yemen, but now we welcome this development where the International Bargaining Forum, the social partners, had designated the southern section of the Red Sea, including the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait, that's the narrow body of water between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, where ships must pass through. And where some of the drone attacks had transpired. So we welcome this, and essentially this means, number one, that our seafarers have a right to refuse sailing if they know or informed that the ship that they will be on board will go through these high-risk areas, particularly the Red Sea southern section and the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait.
Okay.
Second, if a seafarer does agree to come on board ship, then there will be bonuses in terms of their wages, as well as double compensation in the event of disability or death. And then finally, security arrangements have to be enhanced once an area has been designated as a high-risk zone.
In other words, it kind of gives you already a warning that this is a high-risk area and there are benefits in the event that you still accept to take these routes or this route that may possibly endanger your life.
Yes, that's right. It's added protection. And of course, we know already, we're thankful to the efforts of the Maritime Security Forces already patrolling the Red Sea area, Gulf of Aden. So we're already very thankful because in the Central Park incident, for instance, the attack was averted and spare the lives of the crew as well as the ship. So we are aware of these measures, but of course there's nothing better than protecting the measures directly protecting the seafarers themselves, such as the declaration of a high-risk zone in the Red Sea area.
And while we're talking about this, USec, any update on the 17 Filipinos that were taken hostage by the Houthi rebels?
Well, we know that the families, the president has instructed the DMW to handhold and continually assure and support the families of the 17 seafarers. So we've been meeting them periodically. In fact, there will be another meeting this afternoon with them. So we know that the 17 seafarers have been allowed to contact their families and have said that they are safe on board ship. But having said that, we also know that the DFA is working on the safe release and return of the 17 seafarers. The ship is still reportedly off the coast of Yemen, and we know that certain foreign governments have been engaged to negotiate or to work on the safe release and return of the 17 seafarers. So we will leave the details and the effort and the process to the DFA along these lines.
So definitely it is the DFA that is handling this particular situation. But USec, any information if all of them are in good condition?
Yes, we do have this information because the 17 seafarers have been accounted for on board ship and had contacted their families directly. And we had received the direct information from the families themselves that they had spoken to their loved ones on board the ship. And we're hoping, of course, that their safe release and return will come soon.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to find out from you, but knowing that it is really the DFA spearheading this, the question really is, what is the possibility of them being released before the new year?
We will leave that matter, the process currently undertaken with respect to their safe release and return to the DFA, PT. So I'm sure that the efforts are currently underway.
USec, I just need to take a break. We'll be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Migrant Workers Undersecretary Hans Cacdac. USec, any update or any development on the release of the unpaid wages of Filipinos who worked in Saudi Arabia?
Well, right now we're still working with the Saudi authorities, the Saudi government. I'm slated to visit Saudi Arabia, hopefully in January. To reopen discussions again with the Saudi side. We know that there are currently efforts to already contact the beneficiaries, and we're still keeping things as modest as we could until we are clearly sure that the funds indeed are forthcoming. So I leave it at that at this stage, Ms. Pinky, because we'll definitely be working on this. The directive of the President is to persistently pursue the matter on the release of the funds, because definitely the Saudi side had already spoken and said that the funds are indeed already there, and it takes the mechanics of distribution to set the funds in motion.
And you will go to Saudi Arabia next month to further accelerate this, possibly?
Yes, that's the goal, and hopefully that there will be progress in the discussion, so that there will be more concrete developments in the first part of next year.
And maybe as a last question, USec, for those wanting to work abroad, would you be able to tell us which countries are looking at hiring Filipino workers, more so in high demand of Filipino workers abroad?
Yes, let's start with Saudi. Our late Secretary Toots Ople, Sec Toots herself, had initiated the talks with the Saudi side already with respect to the possibility of a special hiring program with the Saudi government to coincide with the Saudi Vision 2030, their vision of a thriving economy. And indeed, the Saudis are bullish, I should say, about economic development, infrastructure projects. Saudi, their main cities as tourism hubs, and of course, the development of the hospitality sector there, as well as healthcare in coordination with our DOH here. We'll make sure of that. So we're looking at Saudi first and foremost, and then of course, there's also the matter on Europe. We've been engaged in talks even during Sec Toots' time with Hungary. Around 6,000 workers deployed to Hungary over the last year. pilot program started by Secretary Toots. And as mentioned in the previous news reports, there is also Japan.
Yeah.
Secretary Waikaunan had just opened the Japan desk together with Ambassador Milena Garcia and the Japanese authorities to facilitate the deployment of workers to decent jobs, decent skilled jobs in Japan. And then, of course, there are other markets who have been very supportive and open in discussions with us, such as the UAE. And South Korea, as also mentioned, we're braced to have a pilot program for the deployment of caregivers to South Korea.
All right. Migrant Workers Officer in Charge and Undersecretary Hans Cacdac. Sir, thank you so much for your time, as always, and I'll speak to you again. Happy New Year.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Pinky. Take care. God bless.
You too, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.